Hello, and welcome to the fifth Collegiate Consumer Brands Pitch Contest from the Global World Headquarters of the University of Georgia Entrepreneurship Program, Studio 225, here in Athens, Georgia. In the last 5 contests, we've awarded over 100,000 in cash awards. And this time around, colleges submitting applications included Emory University, Carnegie Mellon University, Georgia Institute of Technology, Missouri University of Science and Technology, Texas A&M University, Collegiate Great Brands Competition. The winner will receive. Okay, there you go. Winner will receive $25,000 and a trip to New York to present at the Consensus Advisors Great Brand Show. I'd like to recognize our sponsors, What Chefs Want and Consensus Advisors. Both sponsors have judges representing them here tonight for tonight's program. Past prize winners have included teams from Babson College, American University, and the University of Georgia. Right now, I would like to introduce our judges. We have, and I'd like the judges to introduce themselves. I'll start with Hal Kravitz. Hal? Hal, are you there? Hal Kravitz, not hearing you. Okay, Andy McCarthy? Are they still in the waiting room? Andy McCarthy? Andy McCarthy, one of our judges. Andy, could you introduce yourself? Andy McCarthy. Andy, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, Andy, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my name's Andy McCarthy. I'm a UGA alumni. So happy to be here helping out with Bob and the Entrepreneurial Center at UGA. My background in business, I had a bunch of jobs throughout my 20s, and then me and some friends started a popsicle company in the South called King of Pops. Ran that for a number of years and spun it off into a distribution company, a bunch of retail spots. We do big events and festivals, and saw the Braves games and places like that. And then my partners bought me out of that a couple of years ago. Been running a consulting company for the past couple of years, and that just got acquired last month, actually. And I'm working in the human capital space in federal government now, helping entrepreneurial companies grow, and then helping the federal government figure out how to map their people to their high level initiatives. So happy to be here tonight.
All right, thanks, Andy. Our next judge is Hal Kravitz. Hal, can you introduce yourself?
There we go. Hal Kravitz. I joined Bob's group pretty recently, and it's been very, very interesting. My background is primarily Coca-Cola. I was there almost 30 years, about 60% of the time on the brand side and 40% on the distributor side. So built a really solid foundation. My last role was running Glasso, which is vitamin water and smart water, which Coke acquired for $4.1 billion in 2007. Since then, I've worked for a bunch of smaller startup, early stage, primarily beverage companies. I'm on a few boards, and the most notable one is Celsius, which is a better for you energy drink that's having some real success right now. So that's been a lot of fun. And my day job is running a segment, the C-store segment, an inside sales segment at Advantage Solutions, which is the biggest food and beverage broker company on the globe. So happy to be here and looking forward to today. I did this once before when I worked at Coke back in Atlanta at Emory with the MBA class, and it was a lot of fun doing it. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, thanks, Hal. Appreciate that. Next, I'd like to introduce Cheryl Bolton. Cheryl's one of our judges. Cheryl, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm glad to be here too. I'm also a UGA alum but not from Terry School of Business. I had an undergraduate degree in English and a master's in linguistics, and then joined the Peace Corps to travel the world, lived in Africa, came back, and basically went to Harvard Business School for an MBA. After that, I did the usual corporate thing in New York City, mainly. So I was an investment banker with Merrill Lynch. I worked in asset management with the Rockefeller family, and I worked at home box office, which was a lot of fun before I decided to jump off into all things entrepreneurial. And the highlight of that is that I became head of a neuroscience technology company called Scientific Learning Corporation, which I was the CEO of. I led the growth and also led the IPO and the resulting public company for a number of years. Since then, I've done a variety of things, mainly looking for places where I could have impact in some positive way. And I've been on many boards, public boards, mutual fund boards, and I'm currently on a couple of healthcare technology boards now. And for the last several years, I've been a professor of entrepreneurship and also finance at Hult International Business School, and done quite a bit of work, contests like this with them, but also with UC Berkeley, which is right up the street from me, and some other California-based schools, as well as I was a trustee of Berry College there in Georgia for a number of years as well, and on a pretty large NGO board as well that focused on finance in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia.
Great, thanks, Cheryl. Appreciate that. All right.
Glad to be here too.
We're glad to have you. Next, next judge is Peter Costa. Peter is one of our sponsors. He's with Consensus Advisors out of Boston and New York. And Peter, are you there? You want to do an introduction?
Sure. Happy to. Thanks, Bob, for once again inviting Consensus to be a part of this great event. Really excited to be here. As Bob said, I'm with Consensus Advisors. We focus exclusively in the consumer umbrella. We do sell side, buy side mandates. So really glad to be here. I'm not a UGA alum, but I do have some ties to the South. I graduated from Davidson College in North Carolina during the Stephen Curry years, and then got a master's in accounting from Vanderbilt. So some ties to UGA, but not an alum. So
Peter, you're making us jealous. You were there with Steph Curry. Okay, let's we'll go with that. Thanks a lot, and really appreciate Consensus, their sponsorship of this event, and then other sponsors from What Chefs Want, Ron and Molly Tournier, who are here dialing in from spring break. So Ron and Molly, you're there to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, no, thank you for having us, and thanks for letting us be a part of this and sponsor. What an esteemed group of judges, I must say. So I'm not sure if we're worthy to be a part of it, but I think we're going to have a good time and do a lot here. We are in the food service business and primarily serving restaurants. We started that 23 years ago and have gotten regional. So we had a pretty wild year last year, to say the least. But luckily we diversified and got into hotels last year, just in time. So we are very thankful to be out of COVID. Yeah, to be out of COVID and working our way back into a normal life. So looking forward to it here. And we have two. We're not from Georgia. We have two boys there now, and a third that's trying to get in. So.
Very good. Well, it's very important to have a sense of humor when you're an entrepreneur. So it's great, and great to have all you judges here with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us out with this event. And now we're ready to get on with the show here. The run of show is going to start with a company called Rollout from Missouri University of Science and Technology. That'll be followed by My Recruiting Experts from Emory University, then Quoka Brew from University of California, Berkeley, followed by InTouch from Washington University in St. Louis. That'll be followed by Ready Dress Go from Vanderbilt University, and then Somewhere Waffle from University of Georgia, Simple from Carnegie Mellon and Georgia Tech, then Card Exchange from Texas A&M, followed by BOP with Washington University in St. Louis, and then Tilman from Washington University in St. Louis. And so we'll get started now with a rollout. Behind me is a clock with 5 minutes on it. You have 5 minutes to present. At 5 minutes, we will shut everything off and then move into judges' questions for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay.
Perfect. Can you enable screen sharing so I can share my slides, please?
Screen sharing? Yes.
Thank you.
All right. And whenever you're ready, let me know and I will start the clock.
Just want to make sure you guys can see this first. It should be full screen for you.
Very good.
All right. Go ahead and start it.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is August Bimboidle. I'm a senior at Missouri S&T in Rolla, Missouri. I'm in my final semester, set here to graduate this May. And today I'm going to be pitching Rollout. Rollout designs muscle rollers and recovery products for everyday active people. And I know we have one other person here that has ran track before, so he'll be interested to see this. So currently, this next slide. Currently, muscle rollers on the market are ineffective and leave the users unable to reach deep muscle tissues. These stiff rolling elements on the current rollers fatigue the user even more after a hard workout and decrease the satisfaction of what they're trying to accomplish, which is to ease the pain and tension of their muscles. Now, what has Rollout done to address this? We introduced and designed the Rollout Classic, touching on 3 main areas of durability, ease of use, and the pressure control. When it comes to durability, the build quality and our Zero Flex design ensures every ounce of energy and pressure is put into the muscle group that the user is trying to target. When it comes to ease of use, we have 8-ball bearings in this design, which allows for effortless transition from muscle to muscle. And then pressure control. A roller should be stiff and rigid. The spacing of the 4 wheels in our roller allows for the user to apply as much pressure or as little as needed and to move it around to target the deep areas that they want to reach. Now, currently, the competitors that we've chosen to compare Rollout to is Trigger Point, Tiger Tail, The Stick, and generic rollers. The generic rollers you might find at Walmart and online like Amazon. Across all the measures that we've decided to compare against, Rollout checks all the boxes from ease of use to the long-term durability, the targetability with its actual use and functionality, then to the customization for users to customize the color and the order of the colors to how they'd like. Our roller is also very compatible in the market, listed at $29.99. The value proposition, who are we bringing this to? The individuals who we're targeting, the athletes, the health and fitness enthusiasts, and the novice runners and weightlifters that are just getting into working out, that suffer from tight areas and tense muscles from their day-to-day activities that want relief. And our roller is the proper roller and can successfully do that. Now, what's the market opportunity? Globally, recovery is a $21 billion industry. Handheld strictly make up $6.3 billion of that, which are muscle scrapers that you see on the screen, as well as muscle rollers that are previously shown. In the United States, $1.6 billion of the total market is locked up in handheld recovery devices, which Rollout plans to target. Now, how have we been targeting this market and how are we going to further pursue this? Currently, we are on rolloutpros.com, powered by Shopify. We've used social media and targeted Google ads to drive traffic to our website. And we've also partnered with a few sports and rehab places, as you can see in the middle of the screen, currently in the Midwest. We want to partner up with more to get into more physical therapy locations and training rooms across the country. On the right, you can see trackbarn.com. This is an online marketplace where we've partnered with to list our product on their website. And we have many more plans in the future to grow with other online retailers as well. The custom side of Rollout, to get the colors in whatever order you want to match the brand, ties right into teams, clubs, and organizations across the US, from high school athletes to the professional realm that can get rollers and recovery devices catered to their brand. Traction and milestones. Currently, Rollout has sold roughly $6,000 worth of product. We have a design patent filed and completed. And we also have customization. Initially, we only offered orange and gray, which you can see on our logo. Now, this coming May, we will have around 12 colors for users and companies and teams to design the roller to the colors that they'd like. And the network. The people that we've met along the way through this entrepreneurship process has helped us greatly to get to where we are, as well as the supplier relations that we've had, from gaining all of the materials that we need to build our product ourselves, which we do, and to make a sustaining relationship with them for future growth of our company. Now, the team credentials, why Brandon and I? So I myself have been studying engineering management, and Brandon graduated last May with a degree in engineering management as well. I have a strong mechanical and manufacturing background. Brandon has a very good entrepreneur background from some businesses in high school. And we're both student athletes here on the track and field team at the university ourselves. We're innovative thinkers, we're very self-driven, and we're problem solvers, especially when it came to starting this business. I invite everyone to check out rolloutpros.com. You can get yourself a roller there, or customize one to see what colors we have. And I would like to go to questions next. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much. Good job, August. Okay, we'll start with questions. Peter Costa. Peter, do you have a question?
There we go. Yep, August, really great presentation. I guess my question is around breadth of product. I know you guys have introduced the first rollout. What are your thoughts about sort of getting away from being a one product company down the road? So that's my first question.
Yes. Yeah, so we have plans to get lacrosse balls and like massage balls in with branding on it. But when it comes to other products that we ourselves as a company would like to make, because we make the current product ourselves, from fabrication down to the final assembly and shipping it out the door, we have plans to develop interchangeable wheels for different sizes, like a professional version for therapists, which travel around with sports teams. We have different endpoints that can screw onto the end of the roller to simulate the different like your fingers and hands and your elbows when manual release is done to a patient by a physical therapist or massage therapist. So we do have plans for that, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
great.
we have another judge with a question. Cheryl, do you have a question?
Yes, you have $6,000 in revenue right now. Do you have a forecast? Have you looked at a forecast? And if you have, telling you how much you're going to have to manufacture either by yourselves or find some other entity to help you manufacture the product and get it out. What would be your revenue forecast, say, for the next year? And what does that say about how much money you're going to need to fund this?
Well, so everything that we've sold up until now has been just what Brandon and I have been, reaching out to people and basically like a salesman style of selling. We haven't done any marketing and have put much money towards a marketing and ad campaign, although we have done some on Instagram and Google Ads to drive traffic to the website. I could forecast in 2021, we're on pace to break our record from last year, which isn't much, but it's very consistent and we do see it growing, especially with the partnerships that we've added in the past couple months to online retailers and people that are, on our side that like the product. So hopefully this year, I think we can easily get to $10,000 minimum without, that's on pace from not really doing much marketing on top of it. So when we add the marketing and we partner with some more people that have a good stance in the markets that we want to get into, I believe we can really move more product sooner rather than later.
Okay. Molly, do you have a question?
Bob, do you unmute us or do we unmute ourselves?
Ron's got a question.
Ron's got a question. You would unmute yourself.
Similar, on the, have you pursued any partnership angles with your potential buyers of the product? Will they be that interested in kind of a small dollar product when it's not coming in other channels and with other products that they're buying for their facilities or for their team?
Are you specifically talking for online retailer partnerships that would move our product for us as well?
More on your marketing channels when you're approaching potentially larger end users.
Well, right. It's hard. It's a tricky question, but I will say that the people that we've kind of partnered with in the past, that per se, like this one person in Denver for their organization and a business that they do, they would sell like a package deal, and our roller would come in the package for like the shirt and everything that came with their gym. And he initially anticipated 30 to 40 rollers and orders, but it was almost up to 100 at the end of the month when he reached out to us and gave us a final number. So I was kind of, shocked by that. But, I think people like the roller a lot more once they get it in their hands. And that's really the key thing. So being at, track meets and different sporting events to show it off and just to get it in front of them to would really, I think, help. It is a tricky question you had there, but I hope I gave some insight to it.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have a question before we move on?
I do.
Hey, Hal.
Nice job, August, on the presentation. I thought it was very well done and very high quality. This may be a stupid question, but why, you talk a lot about color and you're going to expand your colors. Why are colors important on a product like this versus functionality?
Right. Well, the functionality was already there. That's what we initially wanted to establish. And then we wanted to add on the ability for brands and different teams, as being on a sports team myself, to customize it to their liking, because that's like kind of where the market is when it comes to everything you see on the sidelines of an NFL game. It's that home team, it's that away team. Any sport really is like that. And I think that we can bring a product to that market like that. Thank you.
Great, August. Thank you. All right, we need to move on to the next one. Okay. Next up is My Recruiting Experts. So My Recruiting Experts, that would be Chika Emery?
Yes, Chike.
All right, Chike, hold on one second and let me know when you're ready.
Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second.
You ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, Chike.
Hi, we're My Recruiting Experts, and I'd like to ask one question before we start. Do you think universities are going to do as much as they possibly can to better the student experience? Well, I think so too. And luckily for us, our friend Wilson here thinks the same thing. You see, he's a junior in college right now, and he's looking for an internship at the end of at the beginning of his summer. Here are the resources that are currently available to him: the Career Center, career counselors, and a bunch of websites where you can try and find secondary information. But something's missing here. So let's try and figure out what that is. But for now, let's try and figure out who we are. We're My Recruiting Experts, and we help college students and young professionals ace their job recruiting process by providing insider resources and the content they're going to need to succeed. So why is this so important? It's because students like Wilson, they don't know enough about the recruiting process. And why is that? That's because there's not enough information being provided by the companies that are actually going to hire them. Right now, as I mentioned before, we have a bunch of secondary pieces of information. No matter how much he studies that, he doesn't know if that's what the companies really want to hear. And so students lose out on potential jobs, companies lose out on potential talent, and everyone ends up being sad. Here's our target market. We are going to go through the universities to reach these students. And so there are 3,000 four-year colleges right now in the United States and 1,500 two-year colleges. And here's a shocking statistic. 75% of college students graduate having done at least one internship. That means 3/4 of all college students are going to need our product at one point in their college career. So how are we going to do this? Well, first, we have a proprietary video database, which consists of interviews of Fortune 500 companies' HR and other personnel, asking them questions about what they want from these students in the recruiting process. Secondly, we also are going to connect students who have successfully completed the recruiting process with those who are about to start it, so that we can get that amassed knowledge on how to be successful and pass it down to those who are about to start. And then lastly, we have free content, study guides, articles, deadline trackers, YouTube videos, TikTok. I mean, the real question is, what don't we have? Right? So what have we done so far? See, the most important thing here is, yeah, we're going through universities to license our product, but we need to make sure the end consumer is satisfied. So we had to go out and look for that, and we got successful results. Each student that comes on our site spends about, on average, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Now, the average attention span of a Gen Zer is 8 seconds. We beat that by 28 times. Secondly, we also have network effects big time. For every single time we post a social media post, we've noticed that that gets sent to 2 more people. So not only are we reaching those 2 more people for free, but students like our product enough to actually send it to their friends. And lastly, we know it works. We took someone from going on the pre-med track to Wall Street in under a month. And in fact, that company didn't even ask them to interview. They didn't have to apply to that company. That company asked them to interview. So who's our competitors in the market? We have a couple here, but how does My Recruiting Experts differentiate themselves? Well, number one, our information comes from the primary source, from the companies that are actually going to hire them. We also keep track of recruiting timelines. You'll be shocked how many students don't actually ever get to apply or interview because they missed the due date. And so we help keep track of that. We also hire student mentors, those who have been successful through the recruiting process. And so students only need to get paid about $13 an hour versus industry professionals that are in our competitors that need to get paid 3 times more than that. So not only are we cheaper, but we also are more up to date and dynamic because these students just went through the recruiting process versus the 30-year-olds who had done that maybe 10, 20 years ago. We also are going through a university revenue model. So Handshake is our only other competitor that does that, but we're actually complements to Handshake because they do job search and we do job preparation. Now, here are financial projections. We believe by Q4 of year 3, we can achieve about $1 million in profit. And how do we get here? By following a similar path to Handshake, since they also license their services to universities with students being the end consumer. If we charge $4,000 a month and get 200 universities by our 3rd year of operation, similar to Handshake, then these are the financial projections we arrive at. This is our team. We are all students who have successfully gone through the recruiting process, right? So we know the pain points. We're passionate about it. And even more importantly, since we were successful at it, we know what it takes to solve these problems. Here's our use of funds. To all those who are potential investors out there in the audience, here's your favorite part. Here's our ask of $547,000 used to pay off our mentors, as well as hire a software engineer to build a better website and customize it per university, and account managers to handle our university relations. So we must not forget Wilson. He's the most important part here. And what is missing? My Recruiting Experts. Thank you very much.
Awesome. All right, judges, questions. Let's start with Andy McCarthy.
Yeah, thanks, GK. I loved your energy there. I think the first thing that came to mind for me was just knowing the market that you're going after, college kids. How do you expect for them to pay for this and relying on that as a model of revenue?
Yes, thank you, Andy. That's a great question. And actually, we are going to license our product to universities because we've noticed that students actually like our product, but they just having trouble paying for it. So if we go through the universities and we can convince them that this is going to better the student experience, that they're going to be more prepared for their interviews, then the university will actually take care of the payments and the students get to use the product for free.
Hal, do you have a question?
I keep it on mute because we have a lot of dogs around here, as you know from our conversation. So sorry. I thought that was a great presentation. It looks like the product is very developed already.
Thank you.
And you talk about year 1, year 2, year 3. Are we in year 1 right now, or where are we?
So we haven't started yet. We haven't launched. Those are pure projections.
Okay.
But we've been, testing out our product to a couple of students, and that's pretty much where we are right now.
But it's developed. It's there. You're fine tuning it basically.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
have you haven't pitched to any colleges yet or universities?
No.
Okay. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have a question?
Will.
Peter, how about you? Or was that?
It was me.
Oh, Cheryl.
Yeah. So leveraging on that idea, I thought the presentation was really good too. It was fun to watch. Do you have a plan for getting to universities? That sometimes, they're known to be a little bureaucratic at times, and it's hard to get on the appointment calendar, even on Zoom. How are you going to do that? Do you have a plan?
So we thought about that a lot, and that is our same exact concern. Reaching out to these universities can be quite difficult at times. And so what we plan on doing is going through direct outreach through the resources that we're leveraging. We have mentors that go to several different universities across the United States. And we also have some contacts to these universities. So we plan on going through the students who attend that university and utilizing that as a segue to reach their admission department or reach their administrative departments. Imagine someone that we have, for example, someone who goes to Notre Dame on our site, and if we want to reach out to Notre Dame's administrative department, I mean, that person can just walk right in there and say, hey, we have a great idea for you. Do you think that this is plausible, something that you would like? So that's how we plan on mainly doing it, other than, hardcore reaching out.
Thank you.
Any other judges with questions?
I'll ask another one. When it comes to pitching universities, what does that costing model look like? Is it per user? Is it a flat fee for the size of the university? Have you guys thought about how that's going to work?
So yeah, our idea is a little premature, so we need to do some more financial analysis upon that. But we do plan on, analyzing cost per user, yes, and how much we believe, because different universities have different populations and different motivations, and so we plan on doing a detailed analysis per university for how much we believe that they're going to utilize our resource to kind of tailor a general subscription price that is fair to them. If that answers your question, I hope so.
Okay. Very good.
I have a
question.
follow-up to that one.
Okay,
So what are your costs? I mean, not how much are your costs, but what are the line items that you have to cover?
Yeah, so here's one. We have our mentors on the site, the students that have successfully gone through the recruiting process before. We pay them about $13 an hour as of now, per session. Sessions actually last about 30 minutes, so think about half of 13, 6.5. And then we also, that's pretty much our biggest, let's say variable cost. I would say everything else, the proprietary video database, we actually collect that, for free. It comes at no charge, and then we just edit it and post it. I'd say another cost is, software engineer who's going to build us a better site. Right now we have our site, myrecruitingexperts.com, if you want to check it out. We built that ourselves, but we would like to build a better site that kind of is customized to each university. I could see that being another cost down the road, as well as someone to manage the relationships between the different universities. It might be a lot for just our current personnel, so we might need to hire someone to handle that. And I would say also, in the meantime, we want to be testing our concept to different individual students. And so advertising on social media is something we're exploring. So imagine another $10,000 a year on that. But that's really our major cost.
Great. Thanks, Cheeky. That's great. All right. So judges, work on your notes, and Quoka Brew, get ready. Ofek and George.
Yeah, let us share our screen. Can you see?
Yes, we can see the screen, and just let me know when you're ready, and I'll start about 2 seconds after you start.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're ready. Coffee is one of the most consumed beverages in the world, with more than 150 million Americans drinking at least 1 cup of coffee every single day. So it sounds like coffee is great, right?
Not quite. Many coffee drinkers experience the jitters and crash from caffeine. And research shows that these negative side effects can hurt your ability to focus, lower your levels of productivity, and can lead to feelings of restlessness and anxiety.
Consumers state that they suffer through these negative side effects just to get the energy. But has anyone ever taken a step back and questioned why we have to make these sacrifices in the first place? Hi, I'm Ofek.
And I'm George.
And we're at Quoka Brew, the market's first caffeinated, jitterless coffee.
Our product is a ready-to-drink oat milk latte with as much caffeine as a cup and a half of regular coffee, but with no jitters and no crash.
So it all got started when we were studying for finals at UC Berkeley. And like most college students, we're in the library drinking coffee. And we noticed that the caffeine made us feel extremely jittery and anxious and eventually completely crashed. And when we searched for a solution for ourselves, we couldn't find anything. Instead, we actually found another problem.
All the ready-to-drink coffees around us were loaded with sugars and calories. So this got us thinking, why isn't there a jitterless and healthy coffee?
We then surveyed 1,800 students and young professionals and found that 68% of coffee drinkers experienced the jitters and crash from caffeine, with 97% of them stating that they would purchase a jitterless alternative.
Additionally, we found the average ready-to-drink coffee was the sugar equivalent of 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts.
And after working with chemists and food scientists for 5 months, we created our patent-pending blend of organic amino acids and nootropics, which we infuse into our cold brew. Our blend eliminates the jitters and crash from caffeine, but without sacrificing any of the energy or focus.
We then ran a double-blind study on 150 people, where we saw those that drank regular coffee were 8 times more likely to experience the jitters or crash compared to those that drank Quoka Brew, showing the extreme efficacy of our blend. And also, we'd love to explore the science in further detail in the Q&A section.
And after launching our MVP and seeing immediate traction, we're ready to scale. So we launched our Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, aiming to raise $15,000.
We ended up blowing past that funding goal in under 4 hours, pre-selling over $72,000 worth of coffee during our 4-week campaign, and making Quoka Brew one of the highest crowdfunded beverages of all time.
Word spread quickly among bankers, coders, but mostly college students. Students wanted to not only buy the product, they also wanted to join the Jitterless movement.
So we developed a unique brand ambassador program at UC Berkeley. We then replicated that model at 14 additional college campuses and currently have over 230 brand ambassadors.
To date, we've had more than 5,400 customers and have sold over 40,000 Quoka Brews. Additionally, we've seen a second order retention rate of 67%, which is more than double the industry average of 30%.
And in the last 12 months, we've done over $170,000 in revenue. We started selling our scalable product 3 months ago and are currently at over a $250,000 a year run rate. For the time being, we're entirely focused on our ready-to-drink coffee line. But with that being said, we do have intentions of launching K-Cups, beans, and kegs, as our goal with Quoka Brew is to revolutionize the entire consumer-facing coffee industry, which is valued over $83 billion in the US alone.
To scale, we're currently focusing on 2 main channels, direct-to-consumer and retail.
With direct-to-consumer, we're driving traffic through our ambassadors and our network of 312 micro-influencers that give us more than a 15 million person reach. We're then running Facebook retargeting ads on this traffic and have so far seen extremely profitable results.
With retail, we're focusing on getting stocked in student stores, retail locations around college campuses, as well as high-end natural food grocers. In these locations, we have seen 5 times the volume that our competitors typically see at C-stores like 7-Eleven and grocery stores like Target. And we believe that we are the perfect team to take the Jitterless revolution mainstream. George and I have been business partners since middle school, already having created a 6-figure run rate business in the food and beverage industry while we were in high school.
But it's not just us. Our advisors consist of the former CEO of Naked Juice, the president and CFO of Zico Coconut Water, and the co-founder of Halo Top Ice Cream. Additionally, from the very start, we've been very intentional with our intellectual property strategy. We currently have a patent pending on our Jitterless blend and 7 registered trademarks. The patent will protect us from our competition trying to create a product like ours, and our trademarks will prevent them from trying to market a product the way that we do.
The Collegiate Great Brands Competition prize will help us fund our next big production run, allowing us to meet demand. And after being selected for the competition last year, but having it get canceled, being able to compete again and being selected again this year was a dream come true. So thank you, and let the Jitterless revolution begin.
Woo!
Very good. All right. Molly, I think you had a question. Molly, Ron?
Sorry, the unmute is a pain. No, I don't want to infringe on your patent there, but my first question was, is this a scientific, with the additives, you're able to negate the effects of caffeine, or is it less caffeine?
Yeah, so the way that it really works, so caffeine is naturally a vasoconstrictor, meaning as you consume caffeine, your blood vessels naturally constrict, which causes jitters. So what we add in is natural vasodilators. These are organic ingredients found in beverages like green tea and matcha. They work to dilate your blood vessels back to their natural state, eliminating the jitters. So that's really the science behind how it works. And in terms of our patent, we have a utility patent that covers just different blends or different ranges in our blend. Sorry.
Yeah, it hits a problem I suffer. That's very incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bob,
Okay. Who's else has a question?
I do.
Cheryl?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Great presentation too. Very interesting. But and you're just down the street from me, so. So I'm wondering though, and there are others on this judges panel that know a lot about this and maybe can speak up, but I kept wondering, is there some regulation that you have to, or regulatory agency that this has to pass under so that you're okayed for sale because you've got all these additives and things, or not?
So all of the additives that we add in are, as George mentioned, completely organic ingredients. They're found in matcha, green tea, our special blend. And everything that we add in is FDA approved. And our product is also, the facility where it's produced, everything is FDA approved.
So the individual things are FDA approved, and you can put them all together, and that's still FDA approved?
Yeah, every ingredient is GRAS certified, which is the FDA saying, yes, you can use this ingredient. We're not putting anything scary in it. We
Yeah.
promise.
And something just to add on to that, we're one of the only fully organic ready to drink coffees on the market. A lot of the coffees have a lot of artificial ingredients, and that was something that we wanted to change, was create something fully organic.
Sure, Hal's got some questions because he's been in beverage so long. But
Yeah.
I'm curious about, is it shelf stable or is it a refrigerated product?
Yeah. So our shelf life is currently 12 months, shelf stable. So we don't have any of those issues.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you guys brought up working in the wholesale sector, going to C stores and grocery stores. Are you selling to direct consumer as well? And how do you see that sales forecast working out as far as your verticals that you're selling into?
Yeah, so we are focused on both direct to consumer and retail. Really, the unique strategy that we're taking is, instead of fighting with all the other players and those major, retail locations where we're seeing people are averaging around 24 cans, per month, we're really are paving our own path. And we're going after, for the beginning, the college market, where there's student stores, where there's, brands selling 2,400 cans a day. College students, they save their money on many things, but caffeine is not one of them. The caffeinated beverage for college students is actually worth over $5 billion annually. And we're, by focusing with our ambassador program, is we're really tackling this market. But we're also focusing on young professionals, the high-end natural food grocers, and really tackling both these demographics through direct to consumer with our ambassadors and the influencers, as well as the retail strategy there.
Okay. Hal, do you have any questions?
You're playing in some, in a big space for sure. It's hotter than can be. Who specifically, from a competitive product standpoint, are you targeting here with this differentiated product?
In terms of who our competitors are?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me try to share my screen again. Let's see. Yeah, so this is basically, you have the old, I guess not old, but older, caffeinated beverages. You have Starbucks, Pete's, those, yerba mate that are full with sugar and calories. And you're seeing a lot of the younger demographics switch away from those to the healthier alternatives. So you do have brands like Bulletproof, that is, MCT oil, healthier coffee, as well as super coffee. They have a lot of protein in there as well in MCT oils, but no other company on the market markets themselves as jitterless or crashless coffee. We also own all of those trademarks and the space. So, that being said, we're not ignorant that there is no competition. Obviously there is with caffeine, but this is basically how we view it. And if we had to pinpoint, who we're really grabbing, it is those new customers who are switching away from the old brands like Starbucks and Pete's to the new healthier drinks, really allowing us to come in and become a big player in the market.
So how big a problem are the jitters? Because I drink a lot of coffee and have a lot of friends that drink a lot of coffee, and I don't hear people talking about that being a problem. I know it's a problem, but how big is it?
Yeah, so when we surveyed 1,800 students and young professionals, 68% of people stated that they feel the jitters and crash, with 97% of them stating that they would purchase a jitterless alternative. So it is a really big problem for the younger demographic, not necessarily for people from what we've seen 50 and above.
Old people like me.
All right, well, we need to move on from there. We've had our questions.
Great.
Thank you so much. Up next is InTouch. I believe that's Pranay. Can you start getting ready while the judges finish up their any last minute notes on Quoka Brew? Thanks a lot, Ofek and George. InTouch. Okay, this is Pranay or Sandy?
I'm going to be presenting it for myself and Pranay and Adnan.
Okay, all right. And this is the first of 3 from the Washington University in St. Louis, right? You guys must be drinking some coffee up there or something. All right, tell me when you're ready and we'll start.
All right, whenever you are ready, I'm ready.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, my team and I will share with you our venture InTouch, an innovative mobile application that seeks to radically change the landscape of the mental health industry. We are a team of pre-health students who are passionate about doing whatever we can to improve upon a deficit in an all too important area of healthcare. Imagine you're a freshman in college trying to navigate the uncertainty of university life during the pandemic, trying to cope with the lack of connection, the isolation, the uncertainty. You're living in a world of stress and anxiety, but when you log on to Zoom and you're immersed in a sea of faces who appear to be coping well, you feel lost. But behind the profile picture on your screen, you feel and you know that you haven't been taking care of yourself and your mental health state is not in the best place. So you feel you must take matters into your own hands. Who do you tell? And do you feel like your symptoms are even valid enough to be taken seriously? What do? Although access to mental health resources has greatly improved over the past decade and the stigma has lessened as well, we're still not at the phase where we can seek mental health support and not feel judged and labeled by not only society, but our own friends, parents, and community who may not acknowledge the notion of mental illness. Not only is the stigma an issue, but its effects are amplified when you consider the magnitude and volume of mental health in the US. 1 in 5 Americans suffers from a mental health issue, and that number increases to an astounding 1 in 3 students in the current undergraduate population. Not to mention the coronavirus causing a significant spike in depression and fatigue across the nation and the world. An important aspect in regards to seeking and receiving effective treatment is having a comprehensive, nuanced understanding of the feelings and emotions that you're experiencing. However, the lack of apps in this niche is preventing people from getting the support that they need, that they deserve. Therefore, we hope to begin to solve this issue with our app, InTouch. InTouch will use multivariable skills with dynamic, colorful visuals to effectively provide users with a more comprehensive, perceptible, and accessible understanding of their mental state. Although we are still in the process of developing and perfecting our skills, we have a visual of what we hope they'll look like. Another unique aspect of InTouch is the wellness score that a user will receive. This score is subjective and relative to a user's responses and measurements on scales so a user can view their wellness progression over time. Our interactive skills will allow users to truly connect with their responses on a deeper level as opposed to the existing skills. The competing existing skills require you to choose an option from a list of feelings, a smiley face from several emoticons, or even a simple yes or no. We believe that none of these existing solutions are nearly where they should be, given the current state of mental health in our country and an evident potential for improvement. As far as who we hope to help with our app, we aim to help everyone, and we are confident that we can. We do recognize that the primary users of our app will likely be within the 14 to 25 age range, which comprises over 20% of the US population. Technology-based approaches will work more efficiently and effectively than the conventional intervention approaches in this generation. Extensive foundational research shows that mental health apps can be very effective tools for coping with mental illness. Namely, InTouch will utilize animated dynamic visuals to enable users to monitor their state and increase their emotional self-awareness. InTouch will also use transparent, user-friendly language to remain accessible to the greater fraction of people. InTouch has received strong positive feedback from esteemed psychology professors, clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, and medical professionals. And our business advisor is also a member of the executive board of the entrepreneurship program at OSU. The business model that we plan to use is a freemium plan. Alongside a default free plan, there is a premium paid plan with more features and scales, and discounts on the subscription fee proportional to the length of the subscription. In terms of marketing, our initial plan entails grassroots growth, especially through the networking in our respective university circles. Largely, we'll take a social media approach through ads to promote our app in general to users of such media. There's a tremendous upside of this industry. It expects to generate $3.9 billion by 2027. Thus, with the increasing number of smartphone users, rising concern in mental health awareness, and increasing mental health app usage, there's a significant potential in this market. The financial projections and assumptions for each year are going to be shown in this table, and we predict an overall positive trend with annually increasing growth rate. Our expenses in year 1 will be considerably greater due to the development and coding of the app, while the expenses for the following year will be lesser and solely for maintenance. We base our TAM SAM SAW model off of the total number of apps in the mental health market due to the lack of consumer data. The niche of mental health logging apps is about 0.7% of the 400,000 healthcare apps in the market. Hence, this market is largely untapped, and we are ready to not only thrive in this niche, but change the mental health industry at the same time. In terms of applications of InTouch, we foresee many diverse transferable potentials to various sectors. So we hope to receive your support in developing this application to bridge the mental health treatment gap and make access a universal right. Thank you so much for your attention and your consideration.
All right. So thank you, InTouch. Judges, Peter, do you have a question?
Sure. Great presentation, Sandy. I really like the energy, and obviously this is a significant issue that you guys are trying to address. I had a couple of questions around number of users. So what kind of total penetration are you looking to get in that financial model for years 1 through 4? And net profit of $38,000 after year 4, is that enough to sort of keep you guys going, or what's your thought around that?
So I'm gonna step in and take over the Q&A portion. But in terms of our total penetration, since we're so early and we're still in the development stage. We're still not super sure of the number of consumers that we can actually acquire, but we were just using very conservative estimates because we didn't want to come off like we didn't want to seem like we were living in a kind of like a dream scenario. We just wanted to be conservative, just to be realistic. And we expect more growth than we showed in the table, but we just wanted to be conservative.
Okay. Let's see. Who else has a question for Pranay?
I'll kind of add to that. Being conservative with the growth, a lot of things that I work with businesses is, what is the ultimate dream for the company, and how big can we get, and what do we ultimately want to do with this? When you think about vision for the company, what do you guys think about there?
So we do have a very large vision for the company, and the proprietary aspect of our app is really going to be our scales. And we think these scales can be transferable, and we think they could potentially be edited and modified to be used in a clinical setting, rather than some of the more traditional forms that are used when you enter a mental health professional's office. We believe that more interactive scales that could be used during the patient check-in could be beneficial for the clinician later on during diagnosis. And as far as other applications, we think that it can be used in a potential school subscription program, because if we can convince the schools that mental health is incredibly integral part of a student's success, we believe that we can have schools purchase subscriptions for all their students. And we have had interest in a potential pilot program at our high school. We all went to the same high school, so we have potential interest in our high school in Houston, Texas.
I'll ask a question.
Sure, Cheryl, go ahead.
This is a very interesting market. I've looked at it myself 2 or 3 times, and I know that the numbers that you told us about are correct, and it's a growth market, unfortunately. And there's kind of open territory, but it's very complicated for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is HIPAA and all of the regulations that go along with HIPAA. So you have to be really connected to some healthcare professional, probably. And so I'm wondering, exactly how that works for you. You don't have to tell me all the details, but I'm just suggesting that there are a lot of complications in anything that's healthcare, and certainly in mental health. And I also wondered, if I were subscribing to this, what would really motivate me to fill it out every day? I'm not sure I heard that. But I love the idea, by the way.
So thank you very much. So I'll try to address your first question. So we hope that during this development phase, we can continue to gain feedback from professionals in the space, because we understand that there's a lot about this space that we still don't know about. So we're still in talks with more clinicians. And for example, Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, we have some contacts there that we hope to communicate with later on in the process, because they may not be interested this early on for HIPAA regulations and things of that nature. And as far as motivation to use the app on a daily basis, so we just think that if we can streamline the user interface and have our app be more interactive, that users will want to use it more, because they can actually see what they're doing more so than just clicking a box.
Fantastic. All right, Pranay, thank you very much. Judges have a moment to take any notes, and then up next is Ready, Dress, Go. Jessica from Vanderbilt.
Great. I'll be sharing my screen, and Zoe will be presenting.
Zoe will be presenting. Okay. Okay, is Zoe in the session?
Great. Yes. Oh, I didn't thought we were waiting. Give us the go ahead.
No,
My
I
name
just
is
want to make sure. Wait a second. Hold on a
I'm
second.
here.
Are you ready?
Yes, we're
Ready to
ready.
go? Okay, here we go.
My name is
Start.
Jessica Kaplan.
And I'm Zoe Antel, and I'm here today to present Ready Dress Go, professional attire aimed to inspire. Ready Dress Go will revolutionize professional attire for young businesswomen as they get dressed to enter the workplace. As Vanderbilt freshmen who had just joined a business fraternity, Jessica and I were always going to events that we had to dress in business attire for. We personally experienced difficulty trying to find professional clothes to wear that were comfortable, accessible, and fashionable, and we knew we couldn't be the only ones. So shortly after, we began extensive customer discovery with members of our target demographic. We conducted over 50 interviews with women, which we then coded to quantitatively better understand our target market. From this data, it became very clear that something about women's business wear needed to change. It was through these conversations with potential customers that inspired the value proposition behind Ready Dress Go. Ready Dress Go is an e-retail platform that helps young aspiring businesswomen who want to feel confident in the workplace by increasing the comfort, quality, and accessibility of stylish professional attire. RDG inspires women as they enter the professional world by fostering a dynamic community of like-minded women. Our work attire is fashionable yet professional, comfortable but still bold, all without breaking the bank. Since 2019, we have made tremendous progress. In the spring of 2020, we interviewed over 15 different manufacturers until we landed on our current manufacturer, Prang Apparel. Based in Nashville, Tennessee, Ready Dress Go is proud to support a local manufacturer that was founded and is run by a female entrepreneur. Prang Apparel provides fair wages to their employees, which is important to us given that we are a locally grown business that prioritizes ethical practices. Finally, just over a month ago, we officially launched Ready Dress Go with incredible success. Our current product offering is our work from home set, which I'm actually wearing right now, consisting of a blazer and a top. We sell our top for $70, our blazer for $150, and the set for $200 total. This direct-to-consumer model allows for us to sell at competitive retail prices. The work from home set is simply just the beginning, as our product line will continuously expand from season to season. In fact, we have pants and 4 more tops that are already going to be launching next month. Ready Dress Go's target market is 18 to 24-year-old females entering the business world who are at the start of their professional journeys. On the younger end, we have underclassmen who are pursuing internships both during and between academic semesters. The middle range of our customers are upperclassmen students who are going through really important interview processes and looking ahead at jobs after college. And then we have the older end of our target market, which are recently graduated women in their first full-time jobs. The customer acquisition strategy for RDG includes a college ambassador program and an e-retail platform. The College Ambassador Program is a marketing strategy that takes place physically on campuses with college women serving as champions for our brand. The ambassadors will partner with business-oriented organizations to organize pop-up shops for selling Ready Dress Go clothing. The second key way that we're going to acquire customers is by leveraging an online presence, which consists of a user-friendly website, social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. Through our Join the Boardroom platform and the Blazer Fund, we will further differentiate ourselves. Unlike any other professional attire brand, RDG supports women by way of the boardroom, a community of like-minded women where they can receive access to professional content and resources. Additionally, we created the Blazer Fund to support young professional women. Accessible professional attire is not a reality for most women, which is why we created this fund, which we will use to donate outfits to women who cannot afford to purchase their own professional attire. What separates us from other brands that sell business wear is catering to the specific needs of young professional women. This customer archetype is grossly underserved and in need of professional attire as they transition into their careers. Our focus is on quality of products, a fashionable style, and youthful attire, and also comfortable options, but our competitors fall short in some of these categories. During our first 2 weeks of sales, we sold 32 work from home sets, well surpassing our goal of 25 units. Each work from home set is sold for $200 with a profit margin of 45%, which sums to a total revenue of $6,400. This initial traction from just our first push of sales shows tremendous potential for the future growth of Ready Dress Go. Winning today's competition will allow for us to continue product development for our future collections and reach more customers in our first 2 years of sales. We believe that the $25,000 prize is exactly the push we need to reach phase 3 of our growth strategy. Thank you so much, and I look forward to answering any questions.
Fantastic, great. All right, judges, who has a question? Peter, do you have a question?
Sure, I do. Great presentation.
Yeah.
My question is about your addressable market. I know in the write-up that we were provided, it says 18 to 24-year-old women. Do you think it's probably larger than that, maybe 30 years old? I'm just trying to think about sort of that professional woman. How do you guys think about your addressable market? You don't want to box yourself in too much. How are you guys thinking about it?
Yeah, so the way that we push our messaging to our customers about our brand is by promoting that our products are perfect for young professional women. So yes, what you were saying, we do hope that women older than 24, younger than 18 would purchase our products. But what we found is that there was no specific brand catering to this specific age group of women. So there are brands that are more expensive, that more accomplished, more successful businesswomen could purchase and find, but we are specifically made for this younger demographic that doesn't have the cash or the time to find accessible clothing that's perfect for them.
Good. Yeah, no, okay, so a follow-up question I'd have, you mentioned creating this community through your direct to consumer. How are you building out that community? What sort of, whether it's social media or online channels, are you tapping into to create this community of young professional women?
Yeah, so our minimum viable product for this community, we actually have not invited our customers to join the community yet. We had our recent launch, and that just hasn't been able to actually be launched just yet. It's coming up within the next 2 weeks, which is really exciting. But our MVP for this is actually going to be a LinkedIn group, given that our women are going to be, they are professional or they're going into those professional careers. LinkedIn is a great place to build out those communities, have people be able to interact with each other, and also have us be able to post content from our end. So that's kind of how we plan on doing that now. But in the future, we hope to build that out to have it be our own website where it's, jointheboardroom.com, and people can really come on and know this is Ready Dress Go's boardroom, and this is their community aspect of their business.
Great, thank you.
And that's where we really see ourselves growing the most in the next 5 to 10 years, as well as by building out that part of our business.
Okay, Molly, Ron, do you have a question?
I have a question.
Or Cheryl? Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I am a professional woman. So in my career, I have seen many gaps along the way where there was nothing available, had to make it up. And it strikes me that you might be right. From my teaching, I see such a huge difference between university wear, shall we say, and professional dressing. And I think what you're offering is one-stop shopping in a box. Take this and go. It's not, you don't have to buy a ton of it, just buy one, or maybe you have a second interview and you have to have two. And I can see where that could be useful. LinkedIn makes sense. When you were talking about pop-up stores, I kept thinking, is this really since you mentioned LinkedIn as an online community, are you going to sell things through online? Is that going to be your major way of selling, or what is your major way of selling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to our e-retail platform it's our website. Right now we're selling on iFund Women, which is a crowdfunding platform, and that's just what we were doing in terms of pre-sales for that first launch. But we are going to be moving on to Shopify in May, which is really exciting, and that's where we plan on having most of our sales. The pop-up shops are going to be more of a trunk show model, where women can come and try on the clothes, and they can place their order online and get that order shipped to them.
Do you have a PR strategy?
Yes, definitely. So a lot of what our PR is aligned with is with campus marketing. So we've already had a bunch of articles written about us through different campus organizations, such as local women in businesses. We actually had Start With Women in Business reach out to both of us. We're both at Vanderbilt. A woman, a part of their group, had learned about our organization and wrote a blog post about us through that. We also had a student-run fashion magazine write something about us. So we really are targeting like student-led groups to push our marketing, but we also like will use like more traditional PR methods through like fashion and retail sources.
You guys did a great job. You talked about manufacturing. Who's designing this stuff for you, or what's the input to the design?
Yeah, so
sorry.
I know we're at time, so we'll be quick, but Zoe and I come up with the original ideas, and then we work with designers and pattern makers to implement the technical aspects of design. But it's the two of us, and we consult with our customers. We just held a focus group last week to do product planning for our fall collection. So the customers are the first thing in mind.
We like to say that even though we're designing the clothes, it's really our customers that are, because it's not clothes for us, it's clothes for young professional women, and we need their input to make sure that we're delivering exactly what they want.
Great.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jessica and Zoe, and Ready, Dress, Go. Next up will be Somewhere Waffle. And so judges, take a moment to make a few notes, and then it's Worth from University of Georgia, Somewhere Waffle.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yep.
So Worth, whenever you're ready, I'll start the clock.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. Hi, I'm Worth McFall, the founder and operator of Somewhere Waffle. Somewhere Waffle is a catering-based food truck that specializes in deluxe chicken and waffle slider sandwiches. The novelty of a food truck is the convenience of being able to travel and give customers an untraditional dining experience. So our goal is to take food on an adventure. On July 15th, 2020, Somewhere Waffle launched, and I haven't looked back. To date, we have served 2,340 customers, and we have 14 events booked for the next 2 months. So what's the problem? It is difficult to find reliable catering services that creates a holistic experience through providing great food in a memorable moment. A wedding is supposed to be a special day for a couple, but the catering that was served is not the same that they had at the taste testing. And an employer wants to provide food at a work event, but the food is not memorable. Our solution to this is to serve quick, quality, unique food that is locally sourced and homemade by local folks to not only benefit the customer, but also the community. Once we arrive at an event, the event begins, because Somewhere Waffle is the event. We are providing food and service, but ultimately we are providing our customers a unique dining experience. Our service is quick. Comparable to Chick-fil-A, we serve each customer in 45 seconds. Our waffle recipe is homemade, and in fact, the best waffle in the world. This waffle recipe is the same waffle that I grew up eating every single Wednesday as a kid. So this product has been tested for over 30 years. Our waffle recipe is unique. We basically take a waffle and turn it into a bun. We put a hand-breaded chicken tender on top of it. We have over 10 menu offerings and a handful of sides. This video is a preview of our target market and the experience we offer them. And to the right is our current market size for our region in Georgia. Our total addressable market is 533,000 customers. Our service addressable market is 210,000. And our service obtainable market is 13,000. This is the number of customers we believe that we can serve this year. And we expect this number to grow by 175% for the next 2 years. From every social media post we make, 24.8% of our customers engage with the post. 1,085 new people view the post for the first time. 210 people see the post and then take another step to view our profile. And an average of 32 people share each post with someone else. As a whole, we are competing in the food industry, but our specific competition within the industry are caterers and food trucks. Within a 40-mile radius of Athens, Georgia, there is only 8 catering-specific businesses and 8 food trucks. In spite of launching during a pandemic, Somewhere Waffle had 25 events in the 5 months that we were operating. This showed us that we are versatile and we provide customers with a consistent experience despite social distancing. This time last year, we had no services to offer. And this year we are projecting to do $172 in revenue. Last year we had $16,400 in revenue. And this year we are projecting to do $65,600 in revenue. In 2022, we jumped to $164,000 in revenue, and that is based on being able to go full-time post-graduation. In 2023, we project $246,000 in revenue. And this is why we need you and need this grant. Our traction and revenue is growing. We want to share our mouth-watering food with our customers and combine that with an experience. We want everyone to experience the value we offer. So together, where do we want to go? The question is not only that, but where do we want to grow? We want to start by growing not just anywhere, but here in Athens, Georgia, to grow our serviceable market with a fast casual storefront, to continue carrying out our business model through catering with our food truck, but to add another dimension to our model. This is the vision from the beginning, a Somewhere Waffle storefront, but not just one storefront. We want to grow so big that we're just not anywhere anymore. We want to be everywhere. Ultimately, our goal is to take food on an adventure, and I want you to join me. The beauty of that is that a venture takes something that could be, and it brings it to life. Through taking food on an adventure, we are simply real people having real interactions to create real moments. And this is the beauty of Somewhere Waffle. We are creating value through giving customers real experiences. We need this grant because this van isn't going to slow down. It's only picking up speed and traction. I want you to be a part of this, to see all the places we go and grow. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Questions for judges. Why don't we start with Andy?
Yeah, sure. That was great, Worth. I appreciate it. I had to do. I did a lot of stuff with food trucks back when I was running King of Pops, so I'm very knowledgeable of the area. One of the things that's really tough in hospitality these days is staffing. And as you scale, it's all about how can you staff people. You guys thought about how you're going to attract staff and get them bought into the brand of the product?
Yes. So right now that's quite easy. I have friends who ask me every single time, can I do an event with you? But post-graduation, my goal is to bring on another friend who actually is currently running a food truck for Chick-fil-A to be a strategic partner, to where we only have 2 people in the food truck at a time. So the staffing currently isn't a problem.
Hal, do you have a question?
Yeah, hi Worth, good to see you. Excellent presentation. I have a little familiarity with this. I guess my one question coming off your presentation, it was tight on the revenue side. That revenue growth is pretty significant, which is awesome. Love that. You're going to do that with the one food truck, but then you showed for the summer locations. So like how many locations do you need by year 4, or how many trucks do you need by year 4 to generate that kind of revenue?
Yes. So that projection for 2023 is based off having 2 food trucks. So that's approximately 492 events that we would have. And so we would have 2 food trucks operate that. But by 2023, our goal is genuinely to have a fast casual storefront. But if that doesn't work out, then 2 food trucks would be obtainable. And with our startup cost for our first food truck, with this grant, we could start another one.
You can do that many events with 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Peter, do you have a question?
Yeah, Worth, great presentation. Looked delicious. What would you do specifically with the $25,000 grant?
Yes, so specifically, I bootstrapped everything myself. And so I have some equipment off Facebook Marketplace that could use, some fixing upping. So I would spend a lot of money to make our operation perfect. And so I would put a lot of equipment on the inside, as well as we don't pay for ads or anything. And so I would start paying for Instagram ads to help try to grow our traction, because it's, we're in contact with our customer base and we just want to continue to grow that. And as well as preparation to start another food truck. That's really what the grant will be going to.
Okay, great. Ron, Molly Tournier.
Yeah, we too have seen, been in this arena and supplying food trucks. And do you have a good idea of your cost and revenue, per truck?
Mm-hmm.
The margins there, I think they always tend to end up with a storefront, the successful ones.
Yeah.
That they have to make money and build the brand via the truck. So it's not a bad strategy, but do you have the economics worked out?
Yes, sir. So it costs us 40 cents to make a chicken and waffle slider sandwich, and we sell it for $7. And then you tack on $1 for, for labor, and about, 70, maybe like max 70 cents if something goes wrong. And so we typically are looking at a 91.6% profit rate, profit margin. And then once you put in an operating profit margin, it goes to around about 81%.
Wow. That explains the popularity of chicken tenders.
Yeah, it does.
On that note, Worth, are you guys planning on sticking with just the waffle slider sandwiches, or you guys have ideas to bring up more products?
So currently, I'm very partial to chicken and waffles, but I'm definitely open to it. We offer a lot of different items to where, there's clearly a market for chicken with Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, etc. And then we're trying to renovate how people think of waffles. And so really, I want to keep those pairings together to innovate the industry.
Can I ask, I'm used to looking at businesses because they're technology based that scale very rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
This one's very interesting. How do you see scaling over time? What is your vision of where you're going to go?
Yes, ma'am. So upon graduation in 2022, my hope is to, by the end of 2022, to be in steps to create a storefront. And with the resources I have around me in Chick-fil-A and in Zaxby's, I have a lot of smarter people than I who know the routes and who have gone from food truck to 20 brick and mortar locations.
Very good. Okay, that's all the time we have for questions. Thanks, Worth. Next up is Simple from Carnegie Mellon and Georgia Tech.
Hi everyone. Can you see our screen here?
It's starting to come up. Yes, we can see it.
Fantastic.
Ready
So welcome to Simple. We're an AI rehabilitation software specifically for people with back pain. When I turned 18 years old, I had just got my personal training certification, started coaching people at all levels, and then blew out my back. So what I found was a lot of people are suffering from back pain. In fact, back pain is currently affecting over 1 in 10 Americans, resulting in annual averages of over $100 billion in healthcare costs and 11.4 workdays lost per person. So typically, if you get injured, you go to physical therapy and you're given a home exercise program. And these are being improperly followed by 3 in 4 people, diminishing the rehab outcomes. So if you get a piece of paper, people are commonly losing it. Or if you get an app, the apps tell you what to do, but not necessarily how to do these exercises or whether you're doing them correctly. Hey, Jay, you here with me? So our solution is a home and database exercise coaching platform to optimize home exercise programs and rehab outcomes. So we use computer vision and artificial intelligence to give real-time and audio and visual feedback and personalized home exercise programs. We also have a progression recommendation and biometric analyses. So based on the way that you're moving your body, we give you specific exercises that are tailored for you. And now that you know what Simple is, let's show you how it works.
This year's Young Entrepreneur Award. With more, here's Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith to share our winner.
Thanks, Magic. I'm here with Young Entrepreneur Award winner, Simple.
So as you can see here, we recommend exercises and routines based on your injury. We figure out how much pain you're suffering from. We track your physical and your mental health to ensure that you're rehabbing properly.
Yeah, so in addition to this, you're also able to localize your pain and describe what pain you're experiencing. So we're able to, collect more data about how our exercises are helping people and how it's reducing their pain. So here you see we're using our pose estimation computer vision technology to basically give people real-time feedback on their exercises and ensure they're not getting injured as they work out. In addition, there's also a telehealth component. So, as you're working out, you can send your videos and chat with your physical therapist on the app, which is unique.
So as Jay mentioned, we figure out where your pain is, how much pain you're suffering from, and then we give real-time feedback.
Try not to squat too low on the way down.
So the reps are automatically counted, so you won't have to bring your journal into the gym anymore or into the rehab center.
Don't bend over too much. Good.
So our progress to date, we have four gyms on paid pilot agreements and 15 personal trainers. We have close to 700 downloads in over 17 countries, in countries where they can't actually afford physical therapy. So we think that this is a huge solution, and not only in the United States, but a global solution. We've released our MVP for our app with back pain already, and we're planning to close our pre-seed funding round in the next coming weeks. So right now, for our partners, we're working with Stanford and University of Pittsburgh on figuring out the reduction of pain levels, in addition to the economic impact of these back injuries in the workplace setting. So we're working with a warehouse down in South Carolina that's an Amazon warehouse. And additionally, we're providing an at-home solution for a physical therapy chain with 237 clinics across the country. We've also been working with professional sports teams and large gym chains in order to basically provide their existing platforms with our computer vision technology. So we've also worked with a number of the biggest social media names in the country, in the rehab space and in the fitness space, on changing the narrative around fitness from how much you can lift to how well you're lifting. And so our business model, we are primarily B2C, direct to consumer, where we're charging a subscription fee of $12 a month. And we also have a licensing model where, we have this really powerful technology that'll change the way people are moving their bodies. So we want to provide it to the existing MSK solutions that are out there. So the market size is massive. As I mentioned, 1 in 10 people are suffering from back pain right now, and 1 in 2 suffer from back pain in their lifetime. $517 billion market. And if we capture 1% of this market at $12 a month, it'll be 67 million in ARR. Some of the awards we've won, as we showed you, from the NFL Players Association and Magic Johnson. We've also been named a top 10 university startup in the country from Amazon, and we're going to be participating in Rice. So with this competition, it'll give us great momentum going into the next coming weeks. Jay is a extremely technical founder. He has done research at Howard Hughes Medical Institute, Genelia, where he studied motion tracking.
And Kunal himself
All right,
is a physical therapist and has done.
That's all the time we got, guys. Let's go to questions. Let's see, Peter, do you have a question?
I'll go to the same question I just gave to the last guys. What would you do specifically with the $25,000 grant?
Yeah, can I share some slides again? Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically our use of funds. So we're fundraising right now, and we plan to use the money to basically deploy a backend database. Additionally, improve our motion tracking models. Fortunately, most of our team is all technical, so we don't really have to outsource the development of our product. We've already built it. And then additionally, our corporate fees and legal fees and protecting our IP, we're already doing that in process. So that's what we plan to use the funds for. Thank you for the question.
Okay, Hal, do you have a question?
I want to understand, so it's an app, because at the beginning you said the apps out there today don't work very well, et cetera. It's an app though, all the way, right?
Yeah,
correct.
It's an app.
So basically you just set up your phone, you stand in front of it, you perform the exercises, and the phone speaks to you as a physical therapist or a personal trainer would.
Okay. Kind of like those mirrors you look into that you see out there.
Yeah,
exactly. But with the mirrors, there's a high barrier of entry, a $2,000 mirror that you have to put in your house. With us, it's a device that we already have on our phones or in our hands and in our pockets. So, it's really exciting technology.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody, other judges with a question? Cheryl, is that you?
Well, I kept focusing on the price, $12 a month for unlimited how does it work? Because right now I pay a lot more than that for an online trainer. I'll be honest. We don't do any of that. So what's the usage paradigm here?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we know that personal training and physical therapy can be very expensive for a lot of people. So our goal is to democratize, health and wellness for all people that can't afford it. So the reason we're charging $12 a month is, it's a simple subscription as if, your Netflix subscription, your any other subscription that you're currently using. We want it to be, affordable for all people.
Yeah, but how much, I'm just trying to figure out the actual usage. How do you use it? Do I download the app, and I mean, do I have to go to a gym where they have it available, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so you could just download the app. It's available on the iPhones, on the App Store right now. And if you download it, we offer some free exercises, and we're implementing basically it's a freemium model. So, you can get some exercises and some routines, but if you want to have access to our full exercise library and to be able to work with trainers and such, that's going to cost money, additional fees.
Yeah, and that would be how much? More than $12? That's what.
So basically, if you're on the phone with an individual, you'd be charged by the minute. And if you're and if you want them to create you basically a custom routine, trainers are able to set their own price, where we would take a 20% revenue share.
Aha. Okay, that's much clearer. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Is Magic Johnson using the app?
we hope so.
But as I was looking at that, I know in medical, there's always a lot of liability involved. What's the liability exposure that you guys have going?
Yeah, so basically we're working with University of Pittsburgh's physical therapy school to ensure that all of our exercises are being medically proven, and they're the #1 PT school in the country. And we're also working with Stanford Medicine to ensure that we have research to support our clinical data in the biomechanics section.
Okay, any other questions? All right, very good. Thanks, Kamal and Jay. Cardstock Exchange, Texas A&M. Let me know when you're ready.
Thank you.
Sure thing. So, Cardstock Exchange coming up?
Yes, sir. I'm pulling up the screen share right now.
Okay.
All right. Everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Yes, we can. Let me know. You ready to go?
Awesome. All right. Howdy, everybody. My name is Zachary Lynch, and I'm the founder of Cardstock Exchange, the global trading card marketplace. So the Tom Brady Contenders Rookie Auto is considered by many to be the most important trading card of the modern age. Let's say you wanted to purchase this card. How would you know what price to buy it at? One sold on eBay for $53,000, another at an auction house for $10,200, and one at a card show for $9,000. That's 3 different platforms, 3 widely different results. Now, I've been collecting trading cards since I was 10 years old, and I've accumulated a collection value of over $100,000, yet figuring out the true market value for these commodities has long been a problem for myself and others. Last year, over 45 million trading cards were sold for a market growth of 142%. Now, Forbes estimated that the US trading card market was roughly $5.4 billion and the global market was $10.9 billion as of 2018, before the recent market explosion. We estimate that in light of this recent market explosion, the US market is roughly $15 billion and the global market is $30 billion. Now, why is the trading card market exploded? There's been 4 key reasons. First, people are seeking a legit alternative store value for their money similar to art. Secondly, there's a nostalgia factor for people who once collected as a kid who now want to re-enter the market now that they have the capital to do so. Trading cards allow you to collect your investment and invest in your favorite sports team or athlete as though they're a stock. And finally, trading cards are a tangible asset. Now, there's no reason to believe this market will continue to slow down anytime soon. First, excess demand coupled with low supply will lead to a continual rise in prices. Secondly, athletes are popular amongst younger generation, and as previously stated, trading cards allow them to invest in their favorite athlete. Third, alternative investments are a growing commodity class. And finally, institutional investing within trading cards is growing, as millions of dollars are being poured into this market on a weekly basis. So our primary customer is the experienced buyer, seller, and collector, with our follow-up customer being the ones who engage in the buy and flip popularity and sports betting trends. Now, when it comes to the trading card resale market, it's the Wild West. These are just a few of the many avenues collectors must go through in order to buy, sell, and value their cards. Imagine that's how stocks were bought, never knowing who had the best price or even if the stock was real. Now, of course, that's not how we have to buy stocks, but what if that's not how we have to buy trading cards either? After speaking with customers, we've identified 5 key areas of concerns, all of which we plan to solve from the onset. The first is inadequate pricing data leading to no true market value being defined for the card. Secondly is an inability to track and value one's portfolio, followed by a lack of authentication and a lack of buyer-seller protection. And finally, an inefficient search system leads to buyers not being able to find the true cards that they desire. Now, from the onset, we plan to obtain revenue from 5 key streams. The first and largest being transaction fees, followed by portfolio fees and partnership revenues. Fourth is athlete partnerships, where we'll partner directly with athletes to sell their merchandise, memorabilia, and autographs directly on our site. And finally is brokerage services, where Cardstock Exchange will act as an intermediary for high net worth transactions. Now, as of April 2021, we plan to launch our MVP to our close network of 4 to 5 large card shops who have personally guaranteed to upload over $50,000 worth of inventory to our site. And from there, we plan to grow through our established network within the hobby. The possibilities of Cardstock Exchange are endless, as these are just a few of the many features we plan to incorporate. Things such as the grading triangle and partnerships with card manufacturers, where we plan to launch their products on our site similar to an IPO. With over 40 years of industry experience under our belts, Cardstock Exchange has the industry knowledge and expertise to bring trading cards to the forefront of the alternative investment movement. Now, again, I want you to imagine, what if there was a stock market for trading cards? A place where you could buy trading cards in a much more educated and efficient manner while still utilizing all the same tools you could with the stock market. And maybe you see where this is going. Maybe you too would like to invest in the stock market for trading cards. Because if you had invested in a variant of that Tom Brady Contenders Rookie Auto back in 2000, you would have made 13 million % on your investment. That's 4,500 times more than Apple, and that's 2,700 times more than Amazon. And that is why we are talking about trading cards. Welcome to the future of trading cards. Thank you.
Good, Zach. Thanks. Okay, judges, who has questions for Zach? How about Peter?
Sure. Thanks, Zach, for doing that. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
I know there's a lot of online, there's a movement online with NFTs. I know NBA Top Shot just had a big funding round the other day. What's your thoughts on trading the physical cards versus like the online digital stream of trading cards? Have you looked into that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so digital trading cards are an interesting space for sure. My thought process with like NFTs and Top Shot personally, I think it's not truly like a commodity, right? So trading cards are backed by it being tangible, by you owning something that there's a limited print run of, whereas an NFT is more of somebody took like a video and kind of said, hey, we're going to allow you to trade like a video that's kind of already out there on YouTube, right? So I think there's something to be said about the aspect of trading cards, and that's why I think it's been around so long and is only going to continue to grow.
Thank you.
All right. Who else?
So it's Hal. So once you trade on this exchange, you physically end up with that card in your hand, or is it deposited somewhere?
Yeah, so from the beginning, it's going to be C2C, where if you bought it from me, I would ship it to you, right? Because we pulled our customers, and the majority of them like having the physical aspect, but there's also a certain amount who like it just being deposited somewhere and it just being transacted digitally, but you technically own the card at all times, which once we have the capital and the facilities to do so, we fully plan on implementing for sure, as that'll just add more revenue streams and additional space for us as well.
Right. Thank you.
On the authentication, you addressed it, but how do you do that? Does the card make a stop somewhere for professional review?
Right. So that's a model employed by StockX for shoes, where they have somebody physically like hold the card and say, hey, if it's real or not, right? Which is something, again, we plan to incorporate once we have the facilities and capital to do so. But for the time being, we're going to primarily sell graded cards from the onset, which is the card. That means the card's already, slabbed with a number grade, meaning the condition of it, as well as it's already authenticated. And we're going to employ crowd verification because we truly believe that collectors themselves know the card the best. So if they start flagging one card over and over, then yeah, we'll know that it's fake or not. And aside from that, we'll have people monitoring the site and being able to see if a card's fake. So we plan to incorporate a lot of that aspects.
Okay.
Isn't the authentication of the cards your major value added to all of this?
Yes, so it's one of our major value adds, right? In the card itself is authenticated by the company, but the real problem is reprints, right? Because people can just copy it and say it's the real card, right? That's a key issue.
Right.
Yeah. So us being
just
able
like
to
art. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. Because if you're buying $1 million card, you don't want it to be fake. And so, yeah, our key value out of ours will be authentication. And as we grow as a company, we'll be able to employ more resources. And ultimately, we've explored the AI technology available to verify a card just digitally when you upload it. So you can take a picture of the card, upload it, and it verifies it for you. We've kind of played around with that. And yes, as we kind of grow with our funding rounds, we plan to, explore that technology.
Whenever I hear stock market, I also simultaneously think of regulation. Do you see this market one that will be regulated?
That's $1 million question that a lot of people have asked about because it hasn't been regulated.
Yeah, but so far it's been sort of eBay type, right? So you're making it an official. You're standing in the middle with your company and making it an official marketplace. That's a different situation than and assigning value and verifying things. So that makes you in a different place, I think. Just wondering. It's very interesting.
Yeah. No, and to answer that question quickly, I spoke with a friend of mine's dad who's big in the investment space and has worked with the SEC, and he told me until we're offering like services of investment advice, like, hey, you should buy this card, and you're paying me to solicit that advice, that's the area where we become kind of SEC regulated. And he said that's your biggest area of concern from the get-go. But yeah, if a market grows to be, multiple billions of dollars, then of course I'm sure regulation would come down the line. But until that point, we don't see regulation in the near future.
Great. Fantastic, Zachary. Appreciate that. That's really good. All right, up next, we're down to our last two teams competing tonight. Bob from Washington University, St. Louis. Is that Luke?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right.
All right, I can go ahead and show my screen.
And let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the clock.
Great. Well, before I start, I just want to thank the University of Georgia and all the judges for taking the time to share the feedback with all these student teams. I know that's something we all really appreciate. So my name...
You ready to go?
Ready to go. My name is Luke Lamb from WashU, and I am super excited to share with you BOP, a gamified mobile stock market that empowers musicians and reimagines the artist-fan relationship. So I can promise you that the timing of this venture is perfect and is set to ride a massive wave. The landscape of the music industry is changing incredibly quickly. Spotify has disrupted the traditional revenue streams for musicians. The pandemic has forced record labels to flock to TikTok for artist discovery, and the majority of our surveyed user base is currently unhappy with algorithmic music recommendations. Consumers, small artists, and even the capital-heavy record labels are increasingly feeling the weight of these rapid changes. So artists, they care about two things: growing their audience and growing their revenue. But promoting yourself on a platform where 1% of artists account for 90% of streams is either impossible or extremely expensive. And in our discovery process, the majority of fans are unsatisfied with their connection to artists. So the solution? Our team is already developing the first mobile app that allows you to invest in musicians for free in a simulated stock market. Each artist has their own dollar value, and each user can purchase and sell shares of their picks for best up-and-coming artists. When your artists blow up, your stocks grow with them. See who your friends are investing in, which small artists are on the rise, and find the next big thing. Gain clout with successful picks, and compete with friends in this interactive stock exchange. Artists can share behind-the-scenes content with their fans, monetize this relationship, and get discovered by those who invest in them. So remember how I said we were riding the perfect timing wave? Streaming services and social media have enabled ordinary people, not record labels, to dictate the next big artists. In January, mobile investing platform downloads absolutely exploded. Familiarity with these platforms is at an all-time high, and the spotlight is on them right now. So our total available market in the US is 225 million people. Our target user is a music fan aged 15 to 26, representing a market size of 28 million in the United States. Our obtainable market represents 1 million people, assuming a 3.5% capture between years 1 and 2. So with these rapid industry changes, our competitors are leaving these voids wide open. Spotify makes it wildly expensive for artists to promote themselves and offers zero brand autonomy to artists. Patreon doesn't drive new user engagement, it just gives them a platform for monetization. And Bandcamp requires users to pay just to comment on new releases. So what have we done? BOP offers artists brand autonomy and tools for creative content monetization. We take our gamified engagement and we drive these users towards the artists on our platform. So we've maximized the benefits of gamification and have taken a really candid approach with these artists to see how they would like to fill these gaps. Okay, so these gaps exist and we have a platform that can fill them, but how does BOP make money? And how does BOP create revenue for small artists as well? So the app is free to use and we offer exclusive paid content to customers that want it. We grant premium data subscribers access to all of the minute artist performance data. Think stream counts, monthly listeners, and social media statistics. BOP earns 85% margins on these subscriptions. Users that want exclusive artist content, think songs in progress, studio live streams, album artwork, they can subscribe to their favorite artists and join a community of superfans. In this case, the artist keeps 95% of the revenue and BOP retains 5% margins. Finally, all free users generate an industry standard 48 cents per year from these advertisements. So we benchmarked our consumer demographics with those of competitors, and here's what the results look like. This is based strictly off of expected user growth industry standard assumptions, but we have an aggressive referral program in mind that we believe could expedite the timeline you see now. Long-term, we plan to incorporate the B2B sale of user behavior data to record labels and promo agencies. As you can imagine, access to massive amounts of user stock market picks is incredibly valuable for labels attempting to predict the next big artist. That is not represented here yet in this profit and loss statement, and that's something that we plan to pursue in years 4 and 5. Okay, so all love to my competitors, but I know that my team of entrepreneurs, systems engineers, and software developers are putting in more passion and effort than anyone else. We have 4 seniors in their spring semester that believe in this 100%. And if we were to win the $25,000, here's exactly how we would use it. So all of these check marks that you see are things that we have completed or are currently finishing. We need $5,000 for 1 year of high quality music data access, $13,000 to invest in user experience design, and $7,000 for legal and branding. We plan to ask for investment after we launch in the form of a $200,000 convertible note.
All right.
Using the prize money
Thanks,
to
Luke.
cut down. Yep. Thank you so much. We know the gaps we
Appreciate
can fill. Thanks so much.
All
Happy to
right,
answer any questions.
judges. Cheryl, you got a question?
I'm wondering, what is the, the classic term is barrier to entry for competitors because you're so highly differentiated or you have something, that really, it's not just taking advantage of the opportunity right this second, it's also protecting yourself going forward. And by the way, it was a very interesting presentation. And yes, I have several friends in the music industry, and it's nothing like it was last year, or the year before, or 4 years ago. It's totally changed. So obviously there probably is a lot of opportunity, but how do you protect your taking advantage of that opportunity today, given the rate of change in that industry and the rate of other people trying to get into it?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's a great question. I think the beauty of our model is that if you have a standard marketplace, say someone selling a product, you need the vendor to be on the platform to be able to sell the product, and then you can get consumers. This way, we can have users and artists on the platform at the same time. We don't need to cater to one or the other to start the platform. So one artist could have 30,000 people investing in them before the artist is even on the platform. And then we can go to the artist and say, you already have 30,000 followers, maybe you should set up your account. So I think because it works that way, where we don't have to cater to one or the other to make sure that this can get off the ground, that's how we are able to create an offering, no matter which side decides to join the platform first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hal, do you have a question?
Yeah, so the revenue stream looks like it's coming, not primarily, but a bigger part from the artist, right?
That's right.
So what does that look like? And how does that compare to what they have to spend today to try to reach people?
So that's something that we're pretty proud of, actually. We've done a lot of user discovery with artists specifically in Los Angeles, St. Louis, Atlanta. And artists right now are looking for any way to monetize themselves. And so for them, it doesn't cost much for them to create the content. We give them the tools and they're able to keep most of the margin, obviously because we have the offering that we're able to drive these users from our gamified portion of the platform to their account so that they can monetize them. That's where we take our margins. But I think that's how it works. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, but like, is this an efficient way for them to reach people versus traditional ways? Call it, I don't know what those are, but or historic ways. It must be.
Yeah, definitely efficient. I know that a lot of artists have trouble with Patreon, and there's very few artists on Patreon because they really give you the tool and they will not promote you. And it's your job as an artist to get all of those users onto your platform. And there's really nothing on the Patreon website that's driving users there. So it's not efficient for them to spend so much time trying to get people, begging them to come to the Patreon platform. So we take that gamified engagement and just push our users over there. As far as Spotify as a competitor, it costs tens of thousands of dollars for a small artist to promote a single track of theirs. And for most artists, that's not even in the question.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Who else has a question?
Luke. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I had one quick question. What is the cost to drive those consumers, to help the artist drive users to them? That seems to be there would be a very big cost.
I'm sorry, could you rephrase the cost for us to drive consumers to the artists?
Well, right. I thought the artist would be a great way for them to bring their own people to this platform where they can monetize themselves. But how are you specifically going to drive consumers to them?
Driving consumers to them should be fairly easy because it's gamified on one side. We can, with the referral program, apps like Robinhood, when you invite someone, each person gets one free stock. Since these stocks aren't real money yet, at least, we can offer as many stocks and we can have kind of an exponential program where we refer new users. And then when we give those stocks away to users that join the platform, we can give them artists that we think align with their current music preferences. It's also free for us to promote those small artists on our platform.
Okay. Somebody else have a question?
Yeah. Luke, what penetration do you guys currently have in the music industry? Do y'all have connections with any artists, or do you have any that you're looking to pilot the program with?
We have a lot of conversations, and I think probably 90% of the people that we talk to and just getting their ideas about what they would want on the app, and that's kind of driven a lot of how we catered that one side. About 90% of them are eager to get their shop set up, and so we're beta launching in hopefully mid to late May. This prize money would definitely be a big help to expedite that process. And we know that all of those artists, like I said, mostly in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and St. Louis, are eager to get on board and be able to share content in that way with their fans.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it.
Thanks
That's
so much,
good.
everyone.
Bob. All right. And now we're down to our final contestant, Tilman. Lloyd, can you get set up while the judges are making a few last-minute notes? And if you'll let me know when you're ready, we'll get started.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Sure can. Lloyd, you ready?
Yeah, ready when you are.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lloyd Yates, and I'm the founder of Tilman, where we believe that claiming your look is claiming your power. When shopping for suits, 70% of millennials struggle to find their fit and their style. When shopping at department stores, they often say the suit is too big or they need too many alterations, and buying a custom suit is just too expensive. So to tackle this problem, we're using 3D sizing technology and virtual try-on experiences to build better fitting suits. So our sizing process is simple. From your mobile device, you take a picture of yourself. From there, we use photogrammetry to extract 25 body measurements with 99% accuracy. And then from there, we build your 3D virtual avatar, which allows you to virtually try on clothes to get your custom look that's unique to you and you only. And not only that, we can build your custom look for your custom occasion, no matter what that may be. We're manufacturing our suits in Mexico. We work with a 100-year-old textile-run, family-owned fabric company that has generations of experience creating high-quality fabrics. We work with a group of tailors who have decades of experience creating bespoke stitching suits with full canvas instruction. And coupling this bespoke quality manufacturing with our interactive technology, the outcome is a platform to offer seamless experience for buying custom fitted clothes. Now, last year, we did $30,000 in revenue by selling suit accessories alone. This enabled us to get featured in over a dozen publications, but in this process, we learned a bunch. We learned that there's a major lack of technology and innovation in this space, that convenience is just as important as quality and price, and that millennials, they value online shopping just as much as they do in person, validating a need for a digital experience to buying suits. Now, the suit and blazers market industry in the US is a $23.5 billion market that grows at an annual rate of 6%. Of the 10 million adults who buy suits, we're targeting those 1.4 million millennials who shop for apparel exclusively online. And at a price point of $750, our total market niche is $1.05 billion. So our competition is fragmented, meaning that not many competitors use this interactive technology. But as you can see on the grid, as we go up and to the right, price increases as well as quality. And what does quality mean? It means the ability to personalize your suit, the ability to get a suit that fits well, and the ability to have access to Super 120 fabrics and above, a standard for a nice suit. As you can see, Tilman is in that middle terrain, competitively priced with superior quality. Our go-to-market strategy is in 3 phases. First, to use my background being a former Division I athlete to suit up college football teams. We believe that by the end of this year, we can suit up 5 collegiate programs, grossing over $250,000 in sales. Next is to take a slow launch to the public, similar to Spotify. This way we can have quality control and build anticipation. And then in year 3, we anticipate to have over a dozen markets, and that's when we unleash our mobile storefront. Now, our mobile storefront brings a novel experience to the custom buying experience with an interactive technology, with bringing this interactive technology to an engaging in-person experience. Not to mention that the mobility of being, that the convenience of being mobile is unmatched. So our competitive advantage in going to Mexico is that we have 70% profit margin compared to industry standard, which is 40 to 50%. As you can see from our 5-year P&L, year 1 starts in 2022. Cost of goods sold remains at 30% and decreases over time, and net income stays around 30 to 35%. With the use of the $25,000 prize, we're going to build a minimum viable product of our mobile platform. We're going to license this interactive technology, and we're going to further develop our product in beta tests with our target consumers. Our team consists of 2 undergraduate students with relevant marketing experience, 2 master's students with 10 years experience in business and strategy, and 3 advisors, 2 of which were successful entrepreneurs and investors, and our tech advisor who advises us on technology and our 3D scanning. So with that being said, we thank you for listening. We look forward to modernizing a timeless industry, and I'll open it up for questions. And if it's okay, I'll leave my slides up just in case anybody wants to refer back to anything. Oh, I guess not.
I've got a question for you. That was great. Thank you. Really interesting. So when did this idea get birthed? And I'll tell you why I'm asking.
About a year ago.
So like right at the beginning of COVID?
That's correct.
So how were you thinking about, given what was going on in the workplace and now what everybody's reading and hearing, and people may go to offices half the time, may go none of the time. You've shown the growth in the marketplace. Do you see that growth continuing? Do you see it leveling off? Do you see it declining for the need for suits, if you will?
Yeah. Well, the need for suits obviously declined in 2020, but it's expected to ramp back up. And we think that the suit market is definitely going to increase as people have been cooped up in their homes, that they're going to want to be able to show off their style as they get back out into the workforce and doing things that we did before COVID.
Okay. And then what does a suit cost average? Like,
yeah,
what would some?
Sorry, $750.
$750?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a question about the state of the technology now. I get the sizing, and I think that's really cool. That's a lot better than having them send you a tape measure and do that. Where are you on the state where you can actually show them what different clothing will look like? That seems like a very complicated thing to do with all the the variables that go into that.
Yeah, so we're about 3 months from doing that. And as I mentioned in the kind of the go-to-market plan is to capture this collegiate market first. So we currently have collegiate licensing, and we produce suit accessories for multiple schools in the Illinois, Chicagoland area. So we're building a software right now. So when we work with one of these schools, we can superimpose the outfits as the players get to try on their suits. So we're really close.
Luke, I have a question for you. Great, great presentation. Personalization, you see it sort of with the stitch fixes of the world. How do you create a Tilman community, and so that there's people are coming back to you, and what's the online growth strategy there?
Yeah, definitely. We see a big growth strategy is between PR and influencer collaboration. So as I mentioned, I played Big Ten football, and a lot of my former teammates are now in pros, and we're still good friends. So using my network of athletes to grow within the athlete community and beyond. And as we can tell, athletes are great influencers.
Great.
So I was struck by your several things in your presentation. It was very interesting to me. I've personally spoken to, because I'm very close to Silicon Valley, I'm out here in Techland. I've personally spoken to a number of folks who've started companies, and there have been some big ones too, like the Gap, I think, and Levi's and others who have tried to do this in the past and have not done a good job of it or have not made it. What do you think's different now, and what's different about you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think this technology is definitely in its infancy, and the biggest concern is around, the actual accuracy of the sizing technology. I think what separates us is our access to collegiate athletes. So the way this artificial intelligence algorithm, gets better over time is through more data, and usually it's fed the same data of kind of a standard European looking man. So when there's somebody out of that data set, it doesn't know what to do. So as our go-to-market plan is to suit up these collegiate football teams, we'll continuously improve upon that algorithm.
That's an interesting strategy.
Yeah, I thought that was great, Lloyd. I appreciate the presentation. When you think about where the company is going, I asked this earlier as well. Like, what's the vision? What's the big, hairy, audacious goal for you guys?
Yeah, we're the big audacious goal is to tackle a grander problem of online retail returns. So the trend is we're doing all of our shopping online and digitally, and $166 billion of annual returns are costing these retailers. So we want to eventually kind of set the foundation in the suit landscape, something that we're familiar with, and then license our software long term.
Awesome, thank you.
Smart.
Yeah, thank you all for your time, and I think my time's up. And it's been awesome.
Is it patented? Or have you applied for patent on your technology, on your software?
The virtual try-on is patented, yes. The actual sizing, we just licensed, but the virtual try-on is patented.
Okay, thank you.
Bob, we can't hear you for some reason.
Why am I still not on?
There you are.
You are now.
Hello, can you hear me now? Great. Okay, we're done with the questions. Very good. Thanks to all the presenters. We had 10 fantastic competitors. You guys did a great job. It's going to be tough for the judges to figure out who's the winner here. But congratulations to all of you for making it this far. Again, the winner will receive $25,000 and be invited to present at the Consensus Advisors Great Brand Show, assuming that the show does go forward in New York, and we hope that it does at a later date. Judges, you'll now go to a separate Zoom session for deliberations. Everyone else, we will return in approximately 15 minutes to announce the winner, so stay tuned. In the meantime, on the YouTube, we'll have slides and some videos. And judges, I will join you in the other session, okay?
Is Bob going to move us, or do we need to go to the other link?
Y'all go to the other link y'all were in for the beginning.
We do that ourselves?
Yes, so just exit this meeting and y'all will deliberate and then you'll come back to this Zoom link.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know.
Are we back? Very good. Okay. Are the judges back in the session yet? Almost have everyone. Very good. Well, we had a very spirited discussion in the judges' room, and they have decided to not award any of the $25,000 today. April Fool. Had to do it. It's April 1st day. Okay. Individual judges, let's hear from you. Let's get some feedback to these fantastic teams. How did they do? Tell us what suggestions you've got and recommendations for the future. Why don't we start with Cheryl? Cheryl, make it back.
And I have to unmute first. First of all, I enjoyed all of the presentations. It was very interesting to see what you're working on out there and the progress that you're making and the passion that you all bring to your subjects and your endeavors. The two that I'm going to talk about are my recruiting experts first, which I loved, and I thought your presentation was great, and I thought your presentation materials were also excellent. I think that you have a ways to go yet to sort of a proof of concept, because most investors, and I'm sort of speaking to you from an investor standpoint, know that anything in educational technology is quite challenging. So you have to really show your path, and you have to have a proof of ability to sell. You have a couple of things going which are great ideas and could work, but you have to probably show a little bit more rather than tell. And that would be your mentoring approach and how that's actually going to work, because lots of people have tried that, and it needs to be refined so that it can be explained easily with examples. And I would say that is true also of just how you're going to get in to sell this product and who actually is going to buy or combination you're going to buy and so forth. So I wish you great luck on that. I liked it. And the other,
Thank you.
yeah, the other company that I am going to talk about is InTouch, which is the mental health focus and application. As I said, when I ask a question, this is an area I've looked at myself, and I've looked at with some other pretty high-powered investors. It's a growth area. It's worth looking at. I think you have something, and I thought your presentation was very good. You gave all the right numbers. You looked at the market correctly, I think. But I think you're right at the front end of development here. And I'd like to see, I personally would like to see more of a, maybe an MVP with more attached to it. And some maybe more thought on the HIPAA regulations and other things like that with a strategy that's pretty straightforward and exact. And it may change over time. It probably will, but at least it's a starting place to modify against. So I congratulate you for looking at this arena. It's a very challenging one and complex one. So I was very pleased to see that.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for your feedback.
All right. Peter, can you give us some feedback to your companies?
Sure, absolutely. Worth seems to be next to me up here on the screen, so I'll start with Somewhere Waffle. Worth, great presentation, really enjoyed it. You've clearly thought a lot about this. You've got a passion for your product, which is really comes through in your presentation, so congratulations. Some things that jumped out to me, I think you do have a first mover advantage here. The food truck, sort of geographic concentration in Georgia, as you pointed out, isn't where it is in some of the other larger cities in the U.S. So you've got an opportunity there. As I mentioned, you've clearly got a passion for your product. I think next steps, it'll be interesting to see what you do, how you scale the product. You've got great margins now. What does that look like, as you continue to scale once you graduate and start to take this on full time? Yeah, and building out the Somewhere Waffle community. I think we talked about that from a digital standpoint. How do you make people feel like they're part of the Somewhere Waffle family? So congratulations, great job. My next one is the two women from Vanderbilt, Ready, Dress, Go. Zoe and Jessica, you guys did a fantastic job. Congratulations again on that. I thought the first thing that jumped out to me in a positive way, coordinated attire, your background for your presentation, and your materials were professional. So that jumped out to me. I work in an investment bank, so we're seeing presentations all the time. That speaks volumes to sort of your preparation. So that's great. You're in a growth market. I think you're really targeting a nice, sort of narrow, concentrated market, but you're trying to get your handle around that first, which is great. You're building your digital community. Next steps, I think, how you personalize the attire, have diversification of your product. I know you've sort of rolled out the first line of the jacket and the shirt, but where do you go from here? And then sourcing too, I think that'll be tricky as well. So congratulations, great job. Really enjoyed all the presentations, as Cheryl said, but good luck with everything down the road.
Well, thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. Moving on, Hal, can you give us your recommendations?
Okay, well, first off, thanks to everybody. They all were very, very impressive. Our world is in good hands, that's for sure. When you listen to all of you guys talk about the passion you have for your products and what you're developing and your brands. So I've got Simple Labs. First off, I thought, the presentation was excellent. Very high quality, great graphics. You were very clear about who buys it and why, and so who your target market is, which is really, I think, really important, because a lot of entrepreneurs will start out and try to hit a big swath of people, and if you don't stay focused and build it from a certain point and build out, you could have a lot of problems down the road or have a hard time getting out of the gates. It seems like you're pretty far along, based on how you described everything, which is fantastic. You're you're close or you're there really. Again, in terms of your pitch, I thought the visual aids were really, really good, told the story, and your passion was contagious, very enthusiastic, love it. I see a lot of pitches too, and that's really, really important when you're passionate about something. But I think when the light bulb went off for me was the last question I asked. It kind of hit me. I said, it's like the mirror. I don't know if you remember that comment, but I said, what you're saying here, it's like this mirror you look into and it's basically talking to you. And you made the comment that, yes, but everybody doesn't own a mirror for $2,000. They do own a smartphone. So it's tremendous access. And I would really, really focus and highlight on that, because people know what that mirror is all about, but you're right, it's not affordable for a big part of the population. So if I had a recommendation to make to you guys, I'd be really clear about that and highlight it in when you're pitching your product. So great job. Thank you. I got back pain sort of in and out every once in a while, so this might be perfect for me too. So thanks. The second one for me is Rollout. I think, again, you guys did a great job. You were very clear in stating the opportunity and what the problem was out there, that the other products on the market don't cut it relative to what you guys have created. In terms of the presentation, I thought the visual aids were fantastic. You were very clear. You told your story very, very well. And again, there was, good enthusiasm. You were passionate about everything. And then, you kind of got to it at the end when someone asked the question, but you got a lot of innovation plan. And I'd be talking about that. You've got a great product. That'll be your foundation. You can run with it. But, as you're pitching your company and your idea, innovation is going to be really, really important, especially in that world. And then I guess the one recommendation I would say, you showed pictures of the other ones and they look far inferior, no doubt. But I would really focus on the differentiation, okay? Not just the way they look, but the real functionality of the design of yours and what it does versus the design of what's primarily out there on the market. You've got something different for sure from a visual standpoint, but I think you could spend a little more time explaining why that design works better. So again, congrats, great job. I think you got a real winner here, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Hal. Really appreciate the feedback. Molly and Ron, can you tell us your suggestions for your two companies?
All right, so I'm going to go first on Quoka Brew. A great product, awesome packaging. I have to say, the only real negative right here is you're in a very crowded market. And if you get any traction, you need to move on it quickly and fast. The only other negative I have is maybe the pronunciation and the brand name. I know it means a lot to you guys, but it might be hard to pronunciate. Just saying. And then production and repacking of your product. We only had 5 minutes to go through it all, but great job and super product. Look forward to tasting it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess I'll go with the last one here. Let me first say, Bob, great job on the panel of judges and in our second year of doing this, the caliber of the presentations and the ideas that are presented, it's really just incredible where this has gone. So congratulations to you all. So many good ones. Great to be a part of it. So Bob, great job as well. You're probably the largest thinking on where you can take the company of all the presenters. And I think that's fantastic. You've got big ambitions, big ideas. You've got a great team together, great pitch. The only thing constructive I would say is taking it from those play dollars to real dollars and monetizing it all to such a big level. Maybe make sure in your pitch that's a little more concrete on how you get there from beginning to getting to that kind of money. But overall, really good job, and I think it's it seems like it's got the right niche for that market, and best of luck to you there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the feedback.
All right. Thanks, Ron and Molly, and thanks for sponsoring the program. Last, we have Andy as the last two companies to give some feedback to. Andy?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I'll echo everyone else. Great presentations. I was super impressed with everybody. It was really fun to see everyone's passion and learn more about what you guys got going on. I was getting goosebumps throughout, so well done, everyone. I've got one of the ones I'm going to review is a Cardstock Exchange. I collected baseball cards, a lot when I was a kid, and so it was fun to kind of see the passion that you have for that industry and all those. And it was taking me back to my glory days. So I'd really lean into that messaging of the nostalgia and really concentrating on that. So again, I love the idea and really love baseball cards. And you could obviously tell that you're very excited about it, which is great. As far as just a little bit of what we can improve on, I think, always kind of having a really clear answer on that regulation portion and understanding the competition that's out there outside of just the kind of the unique offering that you're going after. And then just getting a little very simple on the marketing messaging. So it's very clear to understand. It was a little nebulous on how big the idea is. How do you simplify that down, which isn't an easy thing to do, but making it super easy to understand, I think, is the way to go to improve. But great job there. Yeah, no problem. And then last one, Tilman. Again, great presentation. I thought you really targeted in your market. That go-to market strategy you have, I think, is super interesting. I'm excited for you. I think you got a good thing going. I loved your answer on the vision of how big you want to take it. I personally think it's super important to start with those big aspirations and run for it. And I think you mentioned changing the customized clothing industry. So I think it's an awesome way to look at it. We're really excited to see where you're going to go with the platform. The only real areas that concern me there, was a little concerned on the price with the market that we're targeting. So I'll be interested to see what other offerings you guys come up with in the future. And then on the timing, again, with COVID hitting, how big is that market really going to be, and how fast is it going to come back? But again, great job, everyone. Honored that I was invited to be a part of this, but super fun to sit in.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Well, it's the moment of truth. We get to announce who the winners are. I would just like to say that I was very impressed with all 10 presentations. We had, I think, close to 31 different teams applied in the beginning from a number of different colleges across the country, and you guys were the top 10, and really impressed with what we saw here tonight. So congratulations to all of you. But we can only have one winner, so we'll announce that. But start with third place. Judges again had a tough time with the 10 contestants. And coming in third place, we have from Vanderbilt, Ready, Dress, Go. So good job, guys. Give you a round of applause. Third place, Ready, Dress, Go. In second place is Simple from Carnegie Mellon and Georgia Tech. So guys, good job. Came in second place. Okay. And now the winner, wait a second, Hannah. The winner is, let me get this, Quoka Brew. All right, Quoka Brew from UC Berkeley. Congratulations, guys, $25,000. Going to have a heck of a time getting this into an envelope to get to you, but you did win the $25,000. So congratulations to everyone. Thanks again to our sponsors, Consensus Advisors, and also to, sit down? They told me I had to sit down. Okay. Thanks again to our sponsors, Consensus Advisors and What Chefs Want. This is fantastic that we get private support to do these kinds of programs, and that we can offer these things to great students and great student ideas and student businesses in the promotion of entrepreneurship across the United States. So thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks to our judges. You did a fantastic job. And thank you all to our contestants for participating. And thank you all for watching. We hope you'll join us for our next national pitch competition coming up in 14 days. On April 15th, we'll have our next top entrepreneur competition here at the University of Georgia, and also be live streaming over YouTube. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, everyone.
Yeah, nice to meet you all. Bye-bye.